G'day guys, Steve Morgan for Fishing Monthly Magazine's here with Scotty James from Stessl Boats down on the Tweed River to test out one of their serious fishing boats. It's the 520 Bluewater and it's the Platerix hull. And for me, when you guys took over Stessl, the first thing I had to learn was what was Platerix, Scotty. So let's run over that for the guys watching. What is Platerix?
Our Platerix hull is the way we internally construct the hull. So it's what people don't see that really counts. Full height internal stringers, you got your longitudinal, your latitudinal. They generate a nice quiet ride and a solid feel underfoot, but you got a nice wide beam, reverse chines, keeps the spray down, and gives you a nice soft, quiet, smooth ride at the end of the day.
And from what I've seen, from the way these are constructed, it's like over-engineered to the max. Like these, if you can break one of these things, you're an absolutely genius, aren't you? Because they are built solid.
You are. You're doing very well if you've done that.
Now, one of the things that I've noticed about this boat, this is a serious fishing boat, and it looks like it's sort of a front cab, but really it's a runabout that's got the internal floor extended all the way to the front. It's not a layout that you see every day when you go to a boat shop, but it's obviously what fishermen on this part of the Gold Coast here really want, isn't it?
It is. It's something that's evolved over the years. The Bluewater range has been in the Stessl range for a long, long time now, and it's ever evolving. But like you said, it's a runabout at the end of the day. Heaps of storage up the front, but business down the back, all fishing room.
Yeah, and for me, it's simple. Like when you get good at fishing, you don't want little knickknacks and complications to get in your way. You want to go out there, you want a great platform to fish from, and you want to be able to come back and clean it effectively, and this offers all of that, doesn't it?
It does. It's got heaps of floor space. It's nice, simple, uncluttered. You've got a nice big kill tank under the floor, so clear the decks.
Now, when we dropped this in before, it was only on a single axle trailer, so it mustn't weigh that much if it's still on the single axle. What sort of weight for the package? Up around the 1.5 tons?
Yeah, 1.5 tons as a package. So it's still easy to tow behind your SUV four-wheel drives at the moment.
Now, this thing's packaged with the 115 Yamaha, and package prices start with a 90, you said, for only just over $40,000, about 42 grand. This one has tested today at around 49 grand. Let's have a chat to Glen Gibson from Yamaha about the 115 horsepower pushing this thing along. So we've got Glen Gibson here today to tell us about this Yamaha 115. And Gibbo, you are a long-term Yamaha staffer and you've got blue blood, don't you?
Yeah, mate, but how good's this, you know? I mean, we've all come from a background when we were boating as kids and we had big, heavy, two-stroke V4s, oil in that container, fuel in that container. But we've come so far now into a four-stroke, 115 horsepower, but we've then leapfrogged that and now we're into our second generation of 115 four-stroke. Mate, it is just a treat to use.
Now, tell us about we all know the old V4s because they were thirsty, weren't they? What sort of improvements has the four-stroke, even just the first generation four-stroke, had over the old carbide motors? It's second to none, isn't it?
Hey, look, something that I just do every time is I forget what it was like to have to make sure you've got that oil. Hey, did anyone remember that two-stroke oil? That's gone. When we went to four-stroke, we've just gone to that motor that you can actually just turn the key. No matter where you are, high, low, cold, hot, it doesn't matter. Turn the key, it just sits there and it idles perfectly. Into gear. These new motors, heaps of new features and benefits with new propellers to make things quieter. It's smooth. And look, I just had a look at the digital display on this. Now, we've been running around out here for about 3 hours today and we've used about 10 litres of fuel.
Yeah. And look, one thing for me about the four-strokes is the amenity as well. We had it offshore off the Tweed here this morning. A little bit of a swell running. The last thing you want is a gutful of smoke. It doesn't make you feel real good, but these things, you don't know they're there from a smell point of view, do you?
Hey, exactly. And what about the versatility? I mean, hey, like we've been offshore today. We've been out trying to catch some big fish, but then we come into here and then we throw a tube behind it. Next minute we go out and do some estuary fishing. It's just it just takes boating to a new level. You don't have that embarrassment of sneaking up that river and having those fumes. And nobody here today complained about getting seasick either, which is just great.
Yep. Look, this boat has a 150 litre fuel tank, which gives great range with this 115. The last thing we have to do is go put this boat on the water and do the performance stats. So we're going to come back to you with those soon. So we've spent half a day now in this great 520 Bluewater Platerix hull by Stessl, and every time I get into a Platerix hull, I'm reminded of how strong, how quiet, and how well built they feel to be. They're solid underfoot. They're much quieter than a clinkered aluminium boat. And you can sort of tell that you're driving a proper plate boat. I love the way this boat is set up as well. It's set up with that 2.4 metre beam, maximum cockpit space, and without the cabin at the front, it maximises that fishable length that you have in here. Of course, there's some bars to hold back your essential gear, but this is a serious workboat, and one that you can still get out of the shade but catch a lot of fish as well. It's got that big kill tank under the floor. It's got the big side pockets. And the performance is one of the things that you're going to love about it. The performance is, it gets 66 kilometres an hour at 5,800 RPM at wide open throttle. That's not the most efficient speed to drive this boat. You're only getting 1.65 kilometres per litre burned. You can get an extra kilometre for every litre you burn if you drop it down to 3,500 RPM, where you cruise along at a nice 33 kilometres an hour. This 115 horsepower, 1.8 litre four-cylinder Yamaha. Sounds like all the other Yamahas in the range. It's the second generation of their ultra-reliable, ultra-economical four-strokes, and it's a perfect match for this hull. If you want to get that down to a 90 horsepower, you can bring a package price for this boat down to $41,990. This one, as it's tested with the 115 on it and with the sounders, etc., $48,990. So for under 50 grand, you can get a plate boat, very offshore capable, with all the fruit, ready to go, under 50 grand. If you want more information on a great deal like that, make sure you visit stessl.com.au or on Facebook like Stessl Boats. But we've had a great morning in the Platerix. Everyone I've been in, I've loved. And Steve Morgan checking out here from the Tweed River.